This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Well, good morning. It's Friday, November 15th, 2019. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. On Wednesday afternoon at about 3 o'clock, the Anne Arundel County Police Department responded to a holdup alarm at the TD Bank located at 1450 Ritchie Highway in Arnold, right there next to the McDonald's. When officers arrived, they learned that it was actually a holdup, not just a holdup alarm, and the suspect had just fled on foot. Officers did canvass the area. They did locate the suspect a short distance away. There were no weapons seen or implied, and no injuries were reported. The undisclosed amount of money was returned to the bank, and Andrew Colin Maloney of Severna Park was arrested and charged with 2 counts of robbery, first-degree assault, second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and theft. Currently, he is sitting in Jennifer Road on a no-bail status. The Anne Arundel County Police have said that there's up to a $13,000 reward for information into the disappearance of a Melanie Faith Mullaney. Now, back in October of 2018, Anne Arundel County Police were called to the 8,000 block of Green Orchard Road in Glen Burnie for a missing adult. 10 days later, a citizen that was walking their dog discovered some human remains in the 1400 block of Furnace Avenue in Glen Burnie. The remains were transported to the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Baltimore, and DNA tests conducted by the Anne Arundel County Police Crimes Forensic Service section did confirm that the remains were that of Melanie Mullaney. Now, due to the suspicious circumstances surrounding her disappearance, the Anne Arundel County Police Department is offering up to a $10,000 reward for information. Members of her family have also added an additional $1,000, and if a tip amounts to an arrest and conviction, you may be eligible for an additional $2,000 through Metro Crime Stoppers. The police have said that due to the passage of time, witnesses may be more likely to come forward and discuss the events surrounding her disappearance. They say that relationships can change and witnesses may have moved away from the area, and they may be more comfortable now assisting with the investigation than they were back in 2018. It is still a very active and ongoing investigation, and police are asking anybody that may have any information, no matter how insignificant you think it may be, to give them a call at 410-222-4731. Well, Baltimore City passed a milestone yesterday. They passed 300 homicides so far in the year. There were 2 people that were shot and killed in southwest Baltimore about 3 a.m. yesterday morning, which brought that number up to 300. This is the 3rd year in a row that homicides have exceeded 300 in Baltimore City. In 2018, there were 309, and in 2017, there were 342. As we've said for years, Baltimore needs to get their act together, that's for sure. All right, let's get into some better news. After more than 9 months of negotiation and wrangling, Maryland's DNR has agreed to surplus the Burtis House, which is the building down on City Dock, and the adjacent property to the state and transfer it to the city of Annapolis. Now, this is a critical component of the whole City Dock plan because it's planning to use it as the harbor master's office, also as well as a visitor center, and it may also be used as an historic interpretation center with the recent UNESCO Slave Route Project marker designation for City Dock. Part of the deal is that the DNR did request an easement for continued use of the docks for state emergency and icebreaker boats, and the mayor has no problem with that. And in a statement, Annapolis Mayor Buckley said, "We needed to take possession of the property in order to connect the city's resiliency efforts to those of the U.S. Naval Academy. It is the keystone of our City Dock resilience strategy." So that's good news for the city of Annapolis, good news for the City Dock Action Committee and their plan to renovate City Dock. Now, if you have stopped in the 7-Eleven on Route 424 just off of Route 3 in Crofton in the last week, and you bought a Powerball ticket, you may want to listen up here. There was a $1 million winner from that store, and the winning ticket on Wednesday night's Powerball drawing missed it by 1 number. They missed the Powerball number, which is 11. The numbers were 23, 26, 27, 28, 66, and the Powerball was 11. So if you've got a ticket that has 23, 26, 27, 28, and 66, you probably have $1 million coming your way. You do have 182 days to claim that prize, and Anne Arundel County now has 1 more millionaire. Congratulations to whoever has that. All right, it is Friday, so we do have our list of suggested things that you may want to consider doing this weekend, and it's a pretty good one, actually, and the weather seems to be cooperating. If you are someplace where you can leave us a recommendation or a review, please do that. And also let your friends and family and colleagues know about us. That's how we get bigger and better. Other than that, hang tight. We've got George Young with your local DMV weather forecast. He's coming up in just a minute. And then you want to stick around a little bit more because we've got our weekend picks.
Here's to the teacher who spends her weekend helping children who need a little extra attention. To the soldier who missed the birth of his baby while serving overseas. To the EMT working full-time and taking night classes. To the police officers and firefighters working long hours away from their families to keep our families safe. Here's to you, our hometown heroes. I'm Alan Hyatt, Chairman and President of Severn Bank, and we know there are many heroes among us. Men and women who serve without expecting anything in return. Which is why we're honored to offer our Hometown Heroes program to educators, law enforcement officers, firefighters, first responders, healthcare workers, and military personnel. Whether you're opening a checking account or buying a new home, we're here to give back to you. Learn more about our Hometown Heroes program at severnbank.com. Severn Bank, here with you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, November 15th. Yesterday was another cold one for the Annapolis region, with highs only in the low to mid-40s. But today, while still technically below average, will feel much nicer as temps climb into the 50s, ahead of a reinforcing shot of cold air this weekend, thanks to another cold front that will move through the area late tonight and early tomorrow, with cold high pressure moving into place to the north in New England. And that high pressure is important because a coastal storm that'll form along the southeast coast later today and tomorrow will become a nor'easter. But thanks to the high pressure to the north, the storm will stay far enough off the mid-Atlantic coast that the only real impacts will be some gusty winds and maybe some cloud cover, especially for points southeast and east of Annapolis, with those winds making high temps in the 40s feel like 30s at times all weekend. But the weekend should be a dry one for Anne Arundel County, so get out and enjoy, but definitely bundle up as temps are once again expected to be 10 to 20 degrees below average for this time of year. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great weekend out there, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching for DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on our website at dmvweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Hi, this is Kevin Canale,
Michael Sanderson,
the host of the Maryland Association of Counties official podcast, the Conduit Street Podcast.
We like to talk Maryland policy and Maryland politics. That's what we're all about.
Why counties? Well, look at the stuff we do. Education, public safety, environment, taxes, all the areas that people care about. Counties care about that too.
So our podcast is for counties, but it's also for anyone out there who's interested in talking about public policy.
Absolutely. We did a whole episode on Uber and Airbnb and new disruptive technologies.
Right. We've been covering school funding debate, probably in more depth than anybody else out there. We've talked about President Trump's tax reform, redistricting lawsuits, cleaning up the Chesapeake Bay, all that kind of stuff. It's part of our beat. Why do we call it Conduit Street? Well, that's where we are. That's who we are. You Annapolitans on this podcast, you know it as that street right over there by Chicken Ruth's. Now, that's an Annapolis institution. We want to be too. That's our headquarters, and it's sort of our brand.
You can listen to the Conduit Street podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Catch us on Fridays and get a roundup of policy and politics from right here in Annapolis and around Maryland.
Every weekend, there's something exciting going on in the Annapolis area. Be sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net to sign up for a newsletter highlighting all the weekend events. Here are our top picks for this weekend.
All right, it's Friday, so let's get into the weekend. Hey, it is winter. It is cold out there, in case you didn't notice. And what that means is that the ice rink at Quiet Waters Park is opening up, and it opens up today at 3 p.m., and it will be open till 9 p.m. today. You can grab your ice skates, go on down there, get some hot chocolate, get something to eat. If you don't have skates, they do rent them there. And get on out and experience Quiet Waters Park, which is the jewel of the Anne Arundel County Recreation and Park System. I suggest you buy a $20 pass for the year and support the parks all year long. On Saturday, we've got a day-long chance to honor a fallen Marine. Over at Mission Barbecue in the downtown Annapolis location from 11 a.m. till 10 p.m., Mission Barbecue will be donating a part of the proceeds, and some midshipmen from the Naval Academy are going to be present to tell the story of fallen Lance Corporal James Bulk. They say that people are only forgotten when they stop saying their names, and this is a chance for these midshipmen to honor Lance Corporal Bulk. Stop by, hear his story, find out more about this hero, and kudos to Alex Romano for organizing all of this. If you're a middle schooler at Bates or Annapolis Middle, listen up here. The mayor's office is sponsoring an esports competition on Saturday at Maryland Hall beginning at 11:30 a.m. It is in conjunction with Elite Gaming Live, and you get to play Super Smash Bros. Mario vs. Luigi and NBA 2K. The event is limited to 50 middle school students in total. Ideally, they would like to have 25 from each school, but they will even that out if they don't get that. You can go to eventbrite.com, search for Annapolis Esports Competition, and reserve your spot. There is no cost for that. Might be a fun day at Maryland Hall. A little bit later on the afternoon tomorrow, head on up to Homestead Gardens, 5 to 9 p.m. It is their Grand Illumination. Now, if you have never seen more than 250,000, that's 250,000 light bulbs light up at once, this is the place that you need to go. You can shop, you can watch the trains go around, you can get some warm drinks and food, but when they flip that switch and that whole area lights up, it is something pretty spectacular to see. I do recommend you do that. It is free, and if you happen to miss it tomorrow night, do make sure that you get out there and check out Homestead Gardens sometime this holiday season. With all the buzz of the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 landing on the moon, pun intended because Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon and walked on the moon, Historic Annapolis is presenting a panel discussion about the history of the Apollo space program on Sunday at Maryland Hall from 3 to 5. This event is free, but you do need to reserve a space. You can do that at annapolis.org, which is Historic Annapolis' website. But guiding the discussion is going to be Dr. Valerie Neal, who is the curator emerita of the space history for the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. She's going to present a very brief overview of the Apollo missions with a focus on the U.S. Naval Academy graduates who participated in each mission. Joining her will be Dr. Kenneth Reitler, who is a distinguished professor of aerospace engineering at the Naval Academy, Robert Kerbeam, who is the vice president of business development space systems at Northrop Grumman Innovation Systems, and Kyla Barron, who is currently in the U.S. Navy and a current U.S. astronaut candidate. Each of the panelists are going to discuss how the Apollo missions influenced their careers, what their training was like, and how it differed for each mission, and what they're doing to support the current space program. That will be a really fascinating talk. And finally, let's look ahead to next Thursday, November 20th. I'm going to slide back up to Homestead Gardens, and if you're a girl, you can go, but if you're a guy, I guess you're out of luck. But it is their annual Holiday Girls Night Out. It's free, it's fun. Rumor has it that it's very fabulous. They will have plenty to drink. They will have plenty to sample from area caterers and area restaurants. And best of all, you get 25% off of your purchase. You can find out more about it at homesteadgardens.com, but you can just head on up. That gets underway at 6 p.m., goes till 9 p.m. Again, this is on Thursday, the 20th. All right, that's it for the weekend. Lots of good stuff to choose from. Choose wisely, be safe, and we will see you here on Monday. Have a great weekend.
When a ring from the United States Naval Academy comes into Zachary's for a center stone, it always makes us wonder, where's this one going? Where's this one been? A nuclear sub in the North Atlantic? A carrier deck in the South Pacific? The moon? 52 astronauts are Academy graduates, from Iwo Jima to Okinawa, Corregidor to the Coral Sea, Midway to the Persian Gulf, Congress to the White House. These rings go where America goes. 73 that went to war were awarded the Medal of Honor. But wherever they go, wherever they may serve, our admiration goes with them.
Zachary's. Online at zacharysjewelers.com. More than a jewelry store, a jeweler.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.